was after school, Saturday mornings, or thanks to a growing number of speciality channels, growing up, most of us loved watching cartoons. With their popularity, there was no doubt that eventually they were going to make the leap over to video games, and it's been long enough since then, you have to admit we've got no shortage of these types of games. Here are 10 games based on cartoons that I want to talk about in no particular order. Number 10. Captain Planet. Captain Planet, he's our hero, gonna take pollution down to zero, or not, as the case may actually be. Surprisingly, there's more than one Captain Planet game. There's a terrible shooter on the NES, one on the Sega Mega Drive / Genesis, which is a bit better, but still not particularly good, and probably least well known of all, one on the Amiga. What's probably more surprising than the amount of consoles these games were released on is the fact that they're all different games. But ironically, with these games probably lying in a landfill today, they've likely caused more harm to the environment than they ever did to help it. Number 9. Scooby Doo. There aren't many cartoons that come to mind when you say horror, but one that certainly may is Scooby Doo. With all the monsters and the various locations that the characters visit, you'd think that Scooby Doo would have enough material to provide for a game, and they certainly made a fair few games based on them. Night of 100 Frights is a Metroidvania style title that takes place in a single open world, requiring you to explore, to collect new items and abilities that allow you to backtrack and unlock previously inaccessible areas. This game features the whole Scooby Gang and a number of monsters that they've encountered previously in all their adventures. Number 8. One Piece. Where's the anime? Someone probably won't be saying right about now. Well, here it is anyway, One Piece Pirate Warriors. Following the story of One Piece, this is an action game that sees you fight large groups of enemies a la the Warriors games, with quick-time events thrown in to create spectacle. Number 7. Sabrina the Animated Series. While Sabrina started life as a comic and later a live-action show, this game is based on the animated series. Being created by WayForward and using the same engine as the original Shantae, Sabrina is surprisingly better than you would expect it to be. The game follows the kind of plot the show creates. Sabrina makes a mess using magic and must set out to fix it by side-scrolling, navigating platforms, and using magic to defeat enemies. Number 6. Where would a list about cartoons be without Spongebob? Whether it's the cartoon itself, the merchandise, or the seemingly endless memes it's spawned, you've no doubt seen SpongeBob at least once in your life. Probably the best of the SpongeBob games is Battle for Bikini Bottom, a collectathon platformer that does a lot of things right. A lot of things except Mr. Krabs' voice, that is. Let's hope they can fix that in the upcoming remaster. Number 5. Here we have Disney's offering in our list. In this co-op puzzle game, you play Goofy and his son Max as they navigate their way across a pirate-infested island, using a number of tools in their way to solve the various puzzles. This, however, just proves that the real challenge has been being a good father all along. Number 4. Who remembers Cubix, an early 2000s Korean animation about the new boy who manages to fix an unfixable robot in a world where robots are commonplace? For whatever reason, someone, somewhere, thought making it games based on the show would be a good idea. I'm not sure anyone outside of a clueless grandparent would see the game on a shelf and decide to buy it. However, for the brief period I have played this game, I was surprised by Cubix. Despite the questionable faces and at times interesting voice acting, the core gameplay is that of an RPG in which you collect various robots with different elements to form the best party. A bit like Pokemon, and featuring a combat wheel which reminded me of Shadow Hearts. I found myself having a bit of fun, though I can see this eventually getting boring as time goes on. Number 3. Jackie Chan Adventures was a great cartoon in which Jackie Chan, voiced by himself, would have to collect various magical artifacts in order to defeat various ancient monsters from around the globe with the help of his family. The show featured a healthy dose of action, with Jackie having at least one fight per episode, against anything from generic thugs to dragons or demons to budget Integra Wingate Helsing from Helsing. The game takes the premise of the show and feels exactly like a filler episode would, meaning the story isn't fantastic, but is more than enough to complement this average side-scrolling beat-em-up. Number 2. Inspector Gadget. Go Gadget cash grab. It's no surprise that all of these games are created just to make some cash off an existing property, and while playing it, none were more obvious than Inspector Gadget. The game is a subpar 2D platformer with poor graphics, a lazy story. This game had to be mentioned, however, simply because of the show's theme song. Number 1. Flash games. Whether it be at school, home or anywhere else that had a computer, you could easily bring up any number of sites in your browser and play one of these games. Plenty of stations saw fit to turn their shows into games you could play on their website, and Cartoon Network was no exception, having at least one game for all of its shows they were airing at one point in time. This is where this gem comes from. Based on the show Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, we receive Cheese Quest 3D, the Brother Lady Saga. While short and rather basic, the game really does embody the rather bizarre spirit of its star, Cheese, the imaginary friend. Also, as the name suggests, if you have a pair of 3D glasses taken straight from the 90s, you can play the game in glorious 3D. I'm a lady, now we're brother ladies. And that's all 10. Like I said at the start, those are just a few of the many that I wanted to talk about. If you want to suggest any that weren't mentioned, or if you've played any of the ones that were, post them in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. I've been Azora Kite, and thank you for watching.